Okay, so the plan here today is to build a wireless charger for an E90 BMW, and we're going to install it where the cigarette lighter ashtray compartment is. So we're going to remove the ashtray and cigarette lighter, and we're going to use some Perspex or Plexiglass and one of these little 2 amp wireless chargers. We're going to use a 2 amp wireless charger, one that you can get commercially available anywhere, and we're going to wire it up to the cigarette lighter connection point. So the first thing we had to do is remove the center console from the car. I'm not going to show you how to do that. There are a number of videos online that will show you how to remove the center console. Once you've taken the center console off, you want to remove the cigarette lighter section, the ashtray section from the center console. Then I've got a little piece of plexiglass which is going to slot in and fit in right there at the bottom. If you see, this is what we're going to have. Okay, so now that I have the plexiglass cut out, what I want to do is use the symbol and stick it on and have it sort of embossed. So when I put the vinyl on top of this, you will have this symbol embossed on top of the vinyl, which signifies wireless charging. So I'm going to use this very thin two-way tape and stick that picture onto the vinyl first, and then use a blade and gently cut the symbol out. Okay, we've got it all removed, and now you're just going to have to trust your eyes and try and get this as straight as you can. Stick it down on there. Now the trick is going to be to try and cut that out really round using a very sharp blade. Okay, so here's our cutout. I think that probably is going to be the longest part of this whole project. Now what we want to do is just take some alcohol and clean up around here and clean in these grooves before we stick the vinyl on. Here I'm also sanding down the plexiglass because the blade that I used to cut out the symbol caused quite a bit of dents, which would be visible through the vinyl. So I'm using 220 grit sandpaper for this. This panel is now complete, but if you look with the vinyl, it shows a lot of imperfections. So I'm not entirely satisfied with the vinyl finish, and I'm going to take this off, and I'd rather use a black suede fabric. So I'm going to use contact adhesive glue on both surfaces, on here and the suede fabric, and then stick it on. Okay, let's stick this down and see how it goes. Our wireless symbol has just the slightest of visibility, but this should be good enough in the sun. It should be visible in the... Okay, now that we have this ready, at the back, what we can use is just a glue gun and glue this in, and then glue the wireless base station in with the USB point to the side, any side. So we need to find the 12-volt supply to the cigarette lighter.
Are causing some delays.
Make sure you get your polarity correct. So we've got positive in the middle, negative on the left. So the middle and the left terminals are the ones we're going to use. Positive middle, negative left. And because I don't want to cut any of the existing connectors to the cigarette lighter, and because the cigarette lighter is too hard to remove from its built-in assembly, we are going to try and wire direct to these pins. Okay, so seeing that I was getting nowhere with the cigarette lighter, what I did was I just cut the connector off. If I ever need to put it back, I can just join the wires again. I've cut the connector off and I soldered the negative to the side here, soldered the positive here, put some heat shrink over it, and now what we can do is just put some tape over to insulate it. And then we can just plug this one in here, back in here. Okay, now that we're all done, plug the USB in there, connect the USB into this section, and let's test it. Get that back into park. And we are charging. So we're all good. Now just to put the panels back. Start the car. Put this back in neutral. The only reason I put this in neutral is so that I can get this cover back in here. And tuck all the wires in neatly. Let's get the phone off. Push that back. Get this out through here. Knock this down again. Get all that back. Get that into park. Start up. Voila! We're working. Wireless charger installed. Looks neat. Well finished off. Unfortunately, the embossing did not come out too good. If you guys could think of something better, you could do it. I was not sure how to do this part, but we have a neat looking wireless charger in the car. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.